Aloha! My name is Shannon Flynn, and I am the Behavioral Health Supervisor for Kamehameha Schools Preschools. I am here to present to you our second week of Ohana Talk Story sessions. Our topic today is managing lots of Kuleana and stress at home and Keiki Stress Too. So with that being said, let me share our screen and we will get started. Again, we have set these up in a format for Talk Story. However, due to confidentiality purposes, we are recording the version of this session. And so this will not have the Talk Story piece, but would like to encourage you all to please join one of our live sessions where there is that Talk Story component. And those are held on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 a.m. and Thursday afternoons at 5:30 p.m. If you'd like more information or if anything today that you want to talk further about, please contact your Keiki's Kumu or school counselor or myself, and we can get further information out to you. So our goals for today, we're going to discuss managing all the Kuleana at home. Learn more about stress and ways to better manage it. How to recognize Keiki stress and helping Keiki to cope with stress and cope with all these things that are occurring right now. And find ways that together, as an Ohana, you can manage all the stress in Kuleana. So managing lots of Kuleana at home. This situation that we are living in is not normal. It's really hard. And so that quote and that picture on the right, I just think is really perfect for right now. Don't feel, if you feel like you're losing your mind, if you feel like you're less than or you're failing or you're just not good at this, guess what? You're normal. And you're so normal, and that this situation is colossally abnormal. It is not normal for us to all be working at home and being home 24/7. It is not normal for preschoolers to be learning through distance learning. None of what we're going through is normal, and it's hard. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not get it all done, but to recognize, to do what you can and recognize that you can't do everything. Enjoy this time with your family. When else are you able to be together so much and not have anywhere to be? So find the positives in this and try to enjoy this time of everybody being home and the things that you can't normally do in busy life that you're able to do right now. This first clip I'm going to share is from Good Morning America, and it's parents sharing about the struggles of right now, sharing about how it's really hard. And I wanted to share this because I think it really normalizes things for us. It lets us know that, and lets you know that you're not alone in how you're feeling right now. Everybody's struggling, and this is really hard.
Turn now to how millions of parents are navigating their way through the second and in some cases third week of school closures. Distance learning, well, it can put the pressures on mommy and daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Becky Worley joins us from San Francisco with the story. We first saw in the New York Times about a mother discussing the challenges of homeschooling. Good morning, Becky.
Good morning, Robin. It's a lot. Parents working from home, some parents not working, stressing about finances, kids out of school, mom and dad's trying to teach. Parents are feeling the strain.
Aziza Rowan is sheltering in place with her husband and two sons, aged 8 and 6. She's trying to work through the curriculum sent home from school.
How do you feel about homeschooling? Not good. I'm not meant to be a teacher. So maybe we should start school late today and watch Frozen 2 again.
She does get them studying, but
it's lunchtime and I'm hiding in my son's room. I just feel really defeated, and I feel like this is really hard. I'm really worried about the effect it's going to have on my kids and on all the kids not being in school.
And Aziza is not alone. Professor Jenny Weiner is the mom of 8-year-old twins who wrote an op-ed entitled, "I refuse to run a coronavirus homeschool."
could I possibly make learning something in the space that looked like school? And I just knew I couldn't.
She says she and her husband can't manage their jobs and take on the responsibility of being full-time educators for their sons.
I'm lucky, I guess, that I've had practice at being a hot mess for a while and accepting that.
So she's navigating a new path.
We have breakfast, we go for a long walk when we can. They do exploration. I basically said to them, anything you've been interested in or wanted to know about, like I'll sit next to you, can go on the internet, read about it, then you can watch a video about it, write 5 things you learned in 2 questions. We do Kung Fu, we pretend we know what Kung Fu is. And then at about I'd say 1 o'clock, it's a free-for-all. It's video games, it's TV, it's board games.
And as she thinks of other parents like Aziza, she says, do what works for your whole family, including mom.
You're still a great parent because you love your child, you care about them, and you're doing your best.
These last few weeks, I've spoken to folks from the Stanford School of Education and to doctors from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Empathy for kids and empathy for ourselves has been a main theme. Nowhere has brain drain or learning loss come up. And don't forget empathy for all these wonderful teachers trying to offer activities and options to keep kids engaged. While many of them are also managing their own kids at home, Robin, it is a lot.
I have such an appreciation.
Okay, so I love the way they normalize things, to really remind everybody that you're not alone and that this is really tough. And so have empathy for yourself, have empathy for those around you, for your children that are going through this. And it's really tough. So we want to start with recognizing and identifying and acknowledging all the kuleana. So all the things that are going on. Process, think through what are all those things. Write it down. That can be really helpful. Talk through things with other caregivers in the home. So whether it's your spouse, significant other, maybe it's one of your parents helping out, maybe it's a roommate, whoever is around the other adults, but to really process with them and think through things. Also, you can get different ideas by talking to others about things, and that can help with delegating too, so that it's not all on you, but that others in the home are helping out. Embrace routine. Routine is really important, and when there's this kind of lack of typical routine in our lives, it's important for us to still have routine, and it's important for our Keiki too. So try to structure your days, have a schedule. A good suggestion and helpful suggestion is to try to stick what your normal weekday routines would be and school routines. Now, we can't have the schedule broken down to like all the different pieces that we normally would throughout the day. However, try to make it as consistent as possible because that can be helpful for everyone. And really, it's find what works for you and your Ohana. I love in that video clip how that one family, is really embracing exploration and what the kids want to learn. They're trying to learn new things and they're trying to incorporate daily living things that can help us every day. And the great thing is with preschoolers, there's so many ways you can tie in normal life skills to helping them with things. You can count rocks, you can have them help you with numbers and recognize numbers and letters around the house and different sounds they make. There's so many just ways that you can incorporate things that can really help them learn also. So another great tip again is that routine piece and that structure to make a schedule for the day and or the week. Be flexible, but try to be consistent. And so what I mean by that is the pieces that you really want to have those structured in the same times every day or close to it is bedtime and bedtime routines and meals. It's also good to have exercise being a consistent time, but be flexible and flexible with what works for you guys. So, maybe for your family, it's better if you stay up later and you get up a little later. The nice things about not having to be anywhere at specific times, make it a little easier right now and flexibility in things. Use visual tools. So, we have visual schedules in our classrooms to help Keiki, but that's a big thing that can help you at home also. In our classrooms, we have it hung up with pictures and the different, it's hung up in order and going throughout the day of the different activities. And that's something you can totally recreate at home. It's also, would be awesome if you can engage your Keiki in helping you with that. Take a piece of paper or note cards, or take a piece of paper and cut it down to note card size and have them help you with drawing pictures for each activity throughout the day. And find a place in your home where you can hang that up so that they can see it and you can see it. Can really be helpful. Also, I'd encourage you to reach out to your kumu and school counselor, because they have lots of tools when it comes to schedules that will really help you. And I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help you with that and to share some things that they can do or that they use in the classroom. Also, check out online. There's tons of resources online that can be helpful for you and your family, and different visuals that are out there. So take advantage of those things. It helps to write things down. Time is kind of really warped right now in so many different ways that we can lose sort of track of what needs to be done when. So try to write those things down to help you, whether it's a to-do list for you with work stuff, with groceries you need to do, with any of your children's school stuff. Try to write it down. It can really help for you to remember and try to keep track of things. Find things to look forward to. I think one of the hardest things about this situation is that so many things have been canceled and we don't really know when things are going to open up again. And so, all those big events and things that we were looking forward to, we don't really have them to look forward to anymore. Whether it was a vacation, whether it was a family party, no matter what it was, even graduations. It's hard when all those things are taken away and we're kind of in this unknown situation, not knowing how long it's going to last for. And so try to find things that you can look forward to. Make a family game night. Try to figure out which concerts are going to be on TV live this week or through social media and watch those together as a family. Take a hike, plan a day where you're going to go hike together or go to the beach and go swimming. And so, trying to help us all to find the positives in things, to have things to look forward to, can really help us to get through things right now. Take breaks. So break down your day. I think a lot of times we don't want to take breaks because we think we're going to get more done if we just stick through it and don't take that break. However, in reality, we're going to be a lot more productive and a lot more functional if we take that break, if we use that time to clear our mind, clear our head, clear our body, and then be able to get back to whatever we were doing. Pause and find the positives. That can really help us to be in a lot better space and a lot better mindset, that we just take the time to find the positive in this difficult situation. Enjoy all the things at home. Enjoy that you can sleep a little bit later because you don't have to deal with traffic and getting your Keiki to different places and you being different places. Enjoy staying in pajamas and sleeping later and being able to cook hot meals every meal. Whatever it is, that you enjoy, take advantage of those things in this time to be at home. This just talks about that flexible and consistent piece that can be really helpful for children. It can help them feel more secure and better behaved, and engaging them in creating that schedule and routine is also a great tip. So how do we get everything done with everyone home? This next clip I'm going to show you talks to that and really speaks to that piece with some other great tips that can be helpful right now and tips that can be useful to you.
So lots of parents have been asking us, how do I get everything done? And the first thing I have to say there is you're not going to get everything done, and that's okay. So it really comes down to how do we prioritize? And one way that we might think about prioritizing is the 4 Ds. So the first one would be delete. What are the things that really just aren't important, and can I just cross them off my list? So that might be, I'm going to pick up dinner instead today. The second is delegate. So at work, that might be, do I have a coworker who can help me out? Or at home, that might be, do I have a spouse or older child who can help me out with that task? The third one is delay. So what are the things that have to get done now, and what are the things that can be put off until maybe even after COVID-19 is over? And so those might be things that have to wait till you're back in the office or until we have proper weekends for household chores. And then the last one is due. So hopefully by the time we get to the last D, we have cut our list down significantly and we might actually be able to get all the things done. One big challenge parents are facing right now is not only trying to work from home, but also be their child's teacher. And it's not going to be possible to recreate school at home, even for parents who aren't also trying to work from home right now. So really, our goal should be, how do we keep our children interested in the world and engaged with learning without having them recreate whole lesson plans at home? So we need to think about how long children can actually sit for. For an hour for us might seem like we're barely getting into what we need to do today, but for them, that is a really long time. So we want to make things short and engaging, but the expectation is not to be recreating school at home. I think the one thing that we should remember is to express gratitude and give praise to each other. And this goes to children and adults. When we're in a crisis, our attention is usually focused on the things that are going wrong, and we just skip over everything that's going well. So making sure that we take the second to say, great job using your inside voice, or saying to our spouse, thank you so much for taking care of dinner so I could focus on work today, really lets everyone know that we see them and love them and appreciate them during this time.
Okay, so I just think lots of great tips in that for what we can do now, and recognizing that we can't get it all done. But those strategies of delete, delegate, delay, and do, I think, can be really helpful. So managing lots of Kuleana, some helpful tips at home. So let's talk about your setup at home. Designating space for different activities can be really helpful. Even if your home setting is not that big, just even having a space where you're going to do work, a space where you're going to have meals. Now that could be the same space, and that's totally fine to switch it out for different times. Have a space where you're going to do some exercise. I saw lots of things on social media of even labeling those different spaces in your home. So even the kitchen being the restaurant, and the table being school, and your little home gym area can be the gym. Even phrasing it like that, like, oh, I'm going to go to the restaurant now and get my meal, can even, just a fun little way to put us in a better mindset. Give everyone their own space for getting work done, getting schoolwork done. That can be really helpful. Just the same as our Keiki need their own space for sleeping, and we might not have our own room or our own, huge area, but even having that own space. And maybe it's even the same chair they sit at the dinner table as the space where they do their schoolwork at. That can really help, that then they know that that's their space for them to get their stuff done. Use headphones. So whether it's for you or whether it's for your Keiki, using headphones can really block out all of the outside distractions and things going on. And it can really take away those things that can distract our mind and us not focusing. So headphones can be really helpful right now. Block off an area where you need quiet for meetings, for calls, for anything. Even if you've been seeing people making signs, so putting up a poster of meeting time, please be quiet, that can help. Have signals for break. Our Keiki are still learning to put everything they're feeling and thinking into words. And so having different signals for it being break time and them needing a break can be helpful. They probably need some help at first recognizing their own body signs and signals for when they need that break. But then if they're not able to put it in words, maybe creating something like, it looks like you need a break. Let's pat our head when we need a break, and you can show me that that's what you need right now. That can be helpful for them. And for you. Create a calm down space. Calm down spaces are great for Keiki. They're great for adults too. We all need a break every now and then, and so making a space at home that can either be a joint space for everyone in the family or an individualized space for your Keiki and for each person at home, but that can be helpful. So some other helpful reminders. Reminding yourself and recognizing that we're not under normal circumstances. You know, love yourself. It's okay. This situation is hard and it's difficult. And it's okay to not get it all done, even when you think it should be done. Prioritize and delegate. Self-care is very important right now, and we're going to talk about that with talking more about stress in the upcoming slides. Be kind and take care of yourself. There's only one you, and you need to be able to care for yourself before caring for everybody else. And so be kind and gentle to you. Exercise, get outside, eat healthy. You know, those things are going to help us to feel better. They're also going to help to prevent coronavirus from us getting coronavirus and from it spreading, to try to stay healthy. So now we're going to talk about managing all this kuleana that leads to stress. And I love that picture at the side, because really stress is like this big rock that the guy is carrying and has on his back. So a basic definition of stress is that it's a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances, which is what we're going through right now. Everything is a very demanding circumstance with COVID-19. And so it's a lot of mental and emotional strain. No matter what we do, that's still there. And so we want to recognize that stress can be a positive thing. It isn't always negative. You know, stress is a way to let our body know that things are too much. It also can push our body to be stronger and tougher and better. But what we don't want is stress to go on for too long. That's when it can be damaging. So, you know, again, recognizing that we're all going through this and that this is a stressful time for everyone. Everyone handles stress differently, and everyone copes with stress differently. So stress during an infectious disease outbreak. This is from the CDC website. And I share this just for you guys to recognize that these are some signs and symptoms of how stress may be impacting you and how it's normal right now for a lot of these things to be occurring. So having fear and worry about your own health and the health of loved ones. Changes in sleep or eating patterns. Difficulty sleeping or concentrating. You know, I know a lot of people who are struggling with sleep right now. And so just recognizing that that's a sign and symptom of stress. Worsening of chronic health problems and of mental health problems and conditions. And then increased use of alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs. You know, there's been national statements made about how the increase of alcohol sales has gone way up. People tend to turn to those outlets when they're stressed. So managing stress, the science of stress. I'm actually not going to show this TEDx video. You can look it up later. This slideshow is also going to be linked on our website that you can come back to and watch this clip, only because it's a little lengthy. But it talks about how stress affects our brain, and it talks about the neuroscience and how how stress is a good thing, but stress is a good thing in short doses and small amounts to signal to our body of something occurring. It's not good when it's occurring long term and when it's ongoing. So chronic stress is what we really want to avoid. The video though talks about how what stress does is it increases different hormones in our brain, and it puts us into a fight, flight, or freeze state. And so we don't want to be in that long term, because it can really impact our brain size, functioning, and the structure. And so learning to manage stress is really important, and it can reverse the cortisol and the other hormone levels in our brain and those chemicals in our brain. And so exercise, meditation, self-care, those are huge things that can help us through this. So this next video is about managing stress, and it's kind of one of those whiteboard videos that just talks a little bit and touches the surface on the neuroscience piece of stress, but then also the things that can be really helpful for managing stress.
Watch this. One little piece of paper can have a remarkable effect. Stress is stressful. But if you understand a bit about what it is, you'll be better able to deal with it. First, though, take a few deep breaths. In fact, do that anytime you feel stressed. It helps. Stress is a survival mechanism. When danger appears, it can get you out of trouble quickly. Your body crashes up the gears and throws all its resources into getting you moving. Your heart pumps furiously to increase blood pressure. Glucose is sent to the muscles as a fuel injection, and you become totally focused on what psychologists call fight or flight. Thing is, this emergency state is only meant to last just long enough to get you out of danger. But here in the 21st century, we stress about different things, and for much, much longer. Your brain and body stay on red alert, and you'll be less able to think clearly, learn, or remember things. Take a few more deep breaths, because as you now know, stress is a physical reaction, and deep breathing helps to counteract its effects. So, what else can you do? Okay, top tips to reduce stress. First, get plenty of exercise. Let out all that locked up energy. Now, back to the problem. Get in control. Scope out the situation and how you're going to tackle it. Don't stress alone. Talk to someone. Socialize and have a laugh. You can't laugh and quake with fear at the same time. Get down with nature on a big or small scale. And if your mind won't stop worrying, give it something else to do instead.
Okay, so that's from the BBC Brain Smart series that they have. And yeah, just like the way that they package that together to talk all about stress and what it does to our brain, but then all those things that can be helpful. So just some quick tips on managing stress. Take a break. Take a deep breath. So right now, let's all just take a deep breath. Laugh. Move around. Practice mindfulness. So mindfulness is helping us to regulate our body and be mindful of what's around us. So it's anything to have to do with our 5 senses. So a quick way to practice mindfulness is to notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can smell, 3 things you can touch. You can use those numbers in different ways, down to 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just noticing those things really is practicing mindfulness, and it's helping you to stay grounded. Say a prayer. Step outside. Nature is really good for us, and being outside can be really good. So self-care is really critical in managing stress. So we're going to talk about what is self-care. Self-care is any activity that we can deliberately do to care for ourselves. It's caring for our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So self-care is the airplane oxygen mask. I love using this analogy that basically when you get on an airplane and the flight attendant gives the safety briefing and they tell you that you got to put on your oxygen mask first before helping your child or anybody else around you. Because really, if you're not saving yourself, you can't save anyone else. You can't help anyone else. And so really, that's so important for self-care because we need to care for ourselves. And if we're not caring for ourselves, we can't care for anyone else. It's important to keep in mind that self-care is different for everyone. Find things that fill your cup, that help you get back on track. So this is just a quick clip, 50 ways to take a break, and lots of great ideas on here, from music, resting, nature, fly a kite, move around, turn off electronics, color, dance, give thanks. All of these things are great. Some other self-care ideas: read a book, cook, clean, knit, garden, exercise, stretch, call a friend, play with your pet, journal. There's a million different things out there, but really it's finding what is best for you. So I encourage you all to think about what is helpful for you. What activities do you enjoy that help you to feel happy, give you relief, and re-energize you? So take breaks from watching, reading, listening to the news and social media. Those can be really harmful and can make us more stressed than we need to be. Take care of your body. Make time to unwind and connect with others, especially your keiki. So now we're going to shift gears and talk about Keiki Stress Too. So some signs that keiki may be stressed: showing separation anxiety or clinginess towards caregivers, having anxiety, fear, and worry, and even new fears coming up, seeing regression in their behaviors. So this could be anything from baby talk to having accidents. Regression is really any of those things that we kind of go backwards, showing behaviors that we didn't before. Difficulty sleeping, changes in behavior and appetite, being irritable, whiny, moody, overreacting and underreacting to sensory experiences like others touching them or different sounds or smells, and lack of developmental progress. So, not seeing your keiki move ahead in those developmental milestones, but kind of being stuck where they are. All of these are normal signs for stress in keiki. So this one talks a little bit more specifically about stress impacting preschoolers during this time of a pandemic occurring. And this is from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network. So, they might have fear of being alone, bad dreams, speech difficulties, loss of bladder control, any of those accidents, bedwetting, change in appetite, change in behaviors, increased temper tantrums, whining, clingy, a lot of those things that were similar to the slide before. So how we can help our keiki, how we can kokua. Have patience and tolerance. Recognize that your keiki's stressed, just like we're all stressed. Provide reassurance, both verbally and physically, letting them know that you're there for them, that you love them, and showing them those things. Encourage expression through play, reenactment, and storytelling. Play is so important at this age to help our keiki to learn, to help them to process things and what's going on. And so really play and engage and play with them. And use stories and books to help them. Allow short-term changes in sleeping arrangements. Plan calming, comforting activities before bedtime and at other times can be helpful too. Maintain regular family routines. And again, there's that avoid media exposure. So supporting keiki through stressful times, just some more ways to do that. Validate their feelings and help them to self-regulate. So finding ways that they can regulate, that they can get back in control of themselves and their being and making good positive choices. Recognize that a lot of these are common reactions and normal because it is stressful right now. Stay connected and help your keiki to stay connected. Keep the routine. Provide reassurance and safety. Ensuring your child, reminding them that they're safe, that you're going to do everything you can to help them stay safe is really critical. Addressing milestones, missed milestones. So, all those things that should be occurring right now. So for keiki moving up to kindergarten, that they're not going to get to do an in-person kindergarten graduation or preschool graduation to move on to kindergarten. They may have missed a birthday party or their own birthday or a large event. And so acknowledging that we're missing those things and finding creative ways that you can still celebrate those things. So maybe you have a pretend graduation at home, or maybe you have do something fun for their birthday, even though we can't have a normal traditional party like you would be having. Be a positive role model for your keiki. Practice self-care so that you can also help them to practice self-care. Play, play, play. And get help when it's needed. If these behaviors continue to get worse or go on for longer periods of time, reach out to someone. And so if you're having more concerns, please reach out to your kumu or school counselor or myself. You can also reach out to your child's pediatrician. But reach out and get help, talk to someone. So here's a great coping skills wheel for keiki. And I love this because it really is also applicable to our preschoolers. So get a drink, color or draw, exercise, count slowly, talk to an adult, take a break, take deep breaths, listen to music, read a book. All of these things are ways to help Keiki to cope with the stress and cope with their big emotions that are happening right now. So helping your Keiki and Ohana to manage stress, keep a schedule and stick to it. Especially those big pieces. So, mealtime, bedtime, exercise. Again, you want to be flexible and consistent, but trying to stick to some sort of schedule and routine is helpful. Manage your own stress first and recognize when you're stressed, but also when others are stressed and help them through that. Do things together as a family. Connection and Kuleana is really important. So movies, games, puzzles, go for family walks, pray together. Those can all be great and helpful things to do and things to do together with your Ohana. So another creative way to normalize what's occurring, and I just wanted to share this in here. Sesame Street has done so much great stuff. They've been around for so many years, and this is an awesome tool. You can go to Little Children Big Challenges, Little Children Big Challenges, and look up Sesame Street. And it's called Caring, and it's like caring for others right now is their series sort of related specifically to coronavirus. But I want to show you this clip about Elmo, and Elmo talks about how he's dealing with social distancing and what's going on with some of the newscasters from the Today Show. So I'm just going to show you this as just a tool, and this is a great resource to share with your Keiki too, to them to understand that even Elmo's going through this. And who doesn't love to watch Elmo?
VA loans are arguably the most powerful mortgage product on the market. Here are 5 big reasons why. 1, you can buy without a down payment. That's huge because other loans can
my screen kind of slowing
require
now.
3.5% or 5%.
Here we go.
Grab the little ones, guys, because guess who's in the house? Elmo!
That's right, our favorite friend is here. Hi, Elmo. He's going to tell us about his play date with his friends on Sesame Street and some very special celebrity guests.
So Elmo, tell us, because everyone, all the boys and girls are staying at home with their mommies and daddies. So how are you handling being home with your mommy and daddy? And of course, Dorothy.
Yeah, of course. Well, it is a little different. Things are different right now. But, Elmo's at home with his mommy and daddy. And Elmo's mommy and daddy say that it really helps to keep a daily morning routine. Yeah, Elmo brushes his fur, brushes his teeth, has breakfast. Yeah, so it makes things a little more normal.
Oh, so what's your favorite thing to do at home, Elmo? Are you doing a lot of fun, having a lot of fun with your parents and Dorothy?
Oh, yeah, sure. We're playing a lot of games. We're singing songs. Oh, and you know what? Tomorrow, Elmo's having a great big playdate party that everybody's invited to from Elmo's home.
Wait, when is that, Elmo? What time? We want to come.
Elmo thinks it's Elmo's not sure. Elmo's gonna ask mommy and daddy. Maybe 7 o'clock or something.
Okay, well, I think it might be 7 o'clock. Now, Elmo,
yes,
I know.
You're welcome to join.
Okay, we're excited. Now, I know you want to stay healthy because a lot of kids are inside and some people, we're all sitting around a little bit. How can we all stay healthy, Elmo?
Well, exercising is very important. Yeah, Elmo did his monster jumping jacks this morning, I guess. Feel the pain. But you know what? Another way to stay healthy, very important, is Elmo's washing his hands.
Oh, good.
And Elmo's not just putting water on them. Elmo's putting water and soap. Very important.
So, Elmo, we know you love to give hugs, and getting a hug from Elmo is one of our favorites. But we can't give hugs right now. So how are you sharing your love?
Boy, well, the best way is to do things like this. Talk to people and video chats, and you can see them in person, and you can play games and laugh and joke around, and it's almost like being together.
Oh, I love that, Elmo. Now, Elmo, I know Sesame Street has a lot of awesome people, and there are some heroes walking around. If you were going to tell me who are your heroes on Sesame Street, on your street, who would they be?
Boy, well, Super Grover's a real hero, but, there's everyday heroes, too. everybody in the neighborhood that helps each other is a hero to Elmo.
Yeah, because you got the postal workers, you've got all the people running the store. And Elmo, I got to say, can I say thank you, because you gave my Haley a special video message, and I had a chance to show it to her yesterday, and she pushed play. She freaked out. Do you want to see it, Elmo?
Oh, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's watch.
Elmo video.
She wanted to send Elmo a video too.
Hi, Haley. Elmo misses you and Elmo loves you.
Oh, Elmo, you make so many of us laugh. Thank you so much, Elmo.
Oh, well, thank you too.
Well, we love you, Elmo, and we can't wait, because Elmo was talking about that primetime Sesame Street special, Elmo's Playdate. Well, it's tomorrow night on HBO, PB.
Let me pause it there. They did do Elmo's Playdate. It actually was, I think, last week sometime. You can Google or YouTube and search for Elmo's Playdate. And Elmo actually has a Playdate with his friends through like Zoom or through some sort of online format. But I share that because, that's a great one to share with your Keiki and help them to normalize what's occurring and help them to understand that they're not the only ones going through this, that everyone else is going through this too, and other Keiki their age, and even Elmo. So I just wanted to share this as something to think about. Not everything is canceled. So sunshine is not canceled. Spring is not canceled. Love is not canceled. Relationships are not canceled. Reading is not canceled. Naps are not canceled. Devotion is not canceled. Music is not canceled. Dancing is not canceled. Imagination is not canceled. Kindness is not canceled. Conversations are not canceled. Hope is not canceled. I really want to remind everything that there are a lot of positives, and so it can be helpful to us to focus on those positives, to focus on, the things that we can still do and we can still appreciate. So mahalo for joining us today. I encourage you guys to think about what are things that you have been doing that are helpful for you and for your ohana to manage kuleana and stress. What things do you think would be helpful to try at home? And how do you engage in self-care? What are coping strategies that help your Keiki? Just want to leave you with those things to think about and say mahalo for being here today. Just want to remind you guys that these stories occur live. These stories sessions, I should say, occur live on Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Some of our upcoming topics include calming activities for you and your Keiki. All your feelings are okay, and Keiki feelings too. Positive parenting during pandemic. If you have more information, or for more information, or to discuss anything further, or any questions or anything you want to talk story about, please reach out to your Keiki's kumu and or school counselor. You can also contact me, and my email is up there. So thank you. And I just want to leave you guys with this last bit, this last sort of tidbit here. At the end of each day, take a minute to think about the day. Tell your child about one positive or fun thing they did. Praise yourself for what you did well today. You are a star. You guys are all awesome. Hang in there and try to stay positive. And thank you for your time today. I hope that you have found this helpful and informative and supportive. Mahalo.